Judith Maria of Swabia, was a German princess member of the Salian dynasty and by her two marriages Queen of Hungary during 1063 to 1074 and Duchess of Poland during 1089 to 1102. Born probably in Goslar, she was the daughter of Henry III, Holy Roman Emperor, by his second wife Agnes, daughter of William V, Duke of Aquitaine and Count of Poitou. Family. Judith was the youngest of the 6 children born to Emperor Henry III and Empress Agnes. Her older 5 siblings were Adelaide, Gisela, Matilda, Henry IV, Holy Roman Emperor, and Conrad II, Duke of Bavaria. In addition, Judith had an older half-sister, Beatrix I, Abbess of Quedlinburg and Gandersheim, born from her father's first marriage with Gunhilda of Denmark, Queen of Hungary. Soon after her birth on 9 April 1054, Judith was betrothed to Philip, eldest son and heir of King Henry I of France. However, the engagement was broken in September 1058, when her brother Emperor Henry IV concluded a peace treaty with Andrew I, King of Hungary. As a part of the alliance, she was engaged to the Hungarian king's son and heir, Solomon. When King Andrew I died in 1060, his widow and sons took refuge in the German court. With the support of his powerful brother-in-law, Solomon could recover the Hungarian throne after the death of his uncle Aquitaine in 1063 and soon after married with Judith in Sexferevar. The marriage proved to be unsuccessful, and apparently both the king and queen had love affairs. Although it is generally believed that the union was childless, some sources state that Solomon and Judith had a daughter, Sophia, who later married Poitou, Count of Berg-Schelklingen. If this parentage is correct, Judith was the great-grandmother of Salome of Berg, second wife of Goslar III Rima. During the 1070s, a struggle for power commenced between King Solomon and his cousins. On 14 March 1074 at the Battle of Mogorod, the king's forces were decisively defeated by his cousins and their allies, the Dukes of Poland and Bohemia. Judith fled to Germany while Solomon continued his fight for the Hungarian throne. In 1077 he accepted the rule of his cousin King Laszlo I, who gave him in exchange extensive land holdings after his formal abdication. Despite this, Solomon never gave up his pretensions and began to plot against King Laszlo I. However, his plans were discovered and he was imprisoned by the king in the Tower of Visegrad until 15 August 1083, when on the occasion of the canonization of István I, the first king of Hungary, Solomon was released. In the meantime, Judith remained in Germany and settled in her residence in Regensburg from May-July 1074 until 1088. After his release, Solomon went to Germany and tried to reunite with his wife, but she refused to receive him. After a long wandering, Solomon made an alliance with Kush, the leader of a Pecheneг tribe settled in the later Principality of Moldavia. Between 1084 to 1085 he married his daughter, committing bigamy. With this act, Solomon promised to hand over parts of the Kingdom of Hungary in exchange for his new father-in-law's military assistance. In 1085, Solomon led the Pecheneг troops against Hungary, but King Laszlo I defeated them. 2 years later, in 1087, Solomon took part in the Pechenegs campaign against the Byzantine Empire and was killed in a battle near Hadrianopolis. Duchess of Poland. In 1089, Judith married Vladislav I Herman, Duke of Poland. This union considerably benefited German-Polish relations. On the occasion of the wedding, Emperor Henry IV commissioned to the St. Emrem's Abbey the creation of Gospel books to the Polish court, now kept in the library of the chapter in the Krakow Cathedral. After her marriage, Judith changed her name to Sophia, perhaps to distinguish herself from Vladislav I's first wife, Judith of Bohemia. She bore her husband 4 daughters: Sophia, Agnes, Adelaide, and an unnamed daughter. She probably had a big impact on Poland's political life. It's believed that she was the mistress of Sieczek, the Count Palatine and true governor of the country. Judith actively aiding Sieczek in his schemes to take over the country. The death of Misko Bolesławicz under mysterious circumstances was, in all probability, caused by orders of the Count Palatine and Judith. With the help of Sieczek, Judith convinced her husband to send Vladislav I's firstborn son Zbigniew to Quedlinburg Abbey, where her sister Adelaide was abbess. Also, they wanted an eventual alliance with the only legitimate son of Vladislav I, Bolesław, born from his first marriage with the Bohemian princess. After discovering the plans of Sieczek and Judith to take over the country, Bolesław and Zbigniew became allies. Both brothers demanded that the reins of government should be handed over to them. Eventually, after some attempts to break the alliance between the brothers, Sieczek was defeated, deposed and exiled. On the 4th of June 1102, Duke Vladislav I died. The country was divided between Bolesław III and Zbigniew. Judith's date of death was disputed among historians and web sources. Although the 14th of March is stated as the correct day in almost all the known sources, in the case of the year is more difficult to ascertain. Sources established that she died between 1092 to 1096, but this seems improbable, because it is known that around 1105, Bolesław III entered into an agreement with her, under which, in exchange for an abundant opera dower, Judith guaranteed her neutrality in the duke's political contest with his half-brother Zbigniew. Thus, she died after that date. Gerard Labuda stated that Judith spent her last years of life in Regensburg with her daughter Adelaide, wife of Count Diepold III of Vohburg and Cham. Since the date of the marriage between Adelaide and Count Diepold III was ranked between 1110 to 1118, it is assumed that Judith died after the latter year, at a relatively advanced age. Her place of burial at Mont Abbey in Austria apparently confirmed this theory. Ancestry.